Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland. Highlights. Chapter 1. The Alternatives Model. Everyone is free to choose any destiny they wish. The only freedom we truly have is the freedom of choice. You can choose anything you want. If you decide that fate is something predestined that you cannot personally change, then this is how it will be. In effect, you're voluntarily giving yourself to the will of others, becoming like a small boat floating at the mercy of the waves. If, however, you decide that you can create your own destiny, then you will consciously take responsibility for everything that happens in your life, battling against the waves in an attempt to sail your little boat. You may have noticed that whatever you choose is always manifested. What you choose is what you get. Whatever worldview you choose to believe in, the truth of that worldview will always be on your side, and others will argue with you because they too are right. Managing your own destiny comes down to one single thing: make the choice. Transurfing shows you how to make that choice. Individual consciousness shapes a person's destiny. This book focuses specifically on how this is possible. Thought energy transforms possible alternatives into physical reality. The circumstances of a person's life are not created by their actions, but also by the nature of their thoughts. If a person has a hostile attitude towards the world, they will find the world respond to them with the same. If a person constantly expresses dissatisfaction, they will find more and more reasons to be dissatisfied. If a person's attitude to life is predominantly negative, the world will show them the worst side of its nature. Conversely, having a positive attitude is the most natural way to change your life for the better. People get what they choose, like it or not. This is how life works. So if you choose to battle against the obstacles on your path, you will experience an abundance of obstacles. If you're absorbed by thoughts about your own problems, you will find that there are always problems in your life. Even if you take actions to change the situation on your current lifeline, on the material level, it will not change the original script in the alternative space. All you can effectively do is choose a different script. You do not have to fight for happiness. You simply have to choose an alternative reality that is more to your liking. Chapter 2. Pendulums. The pendulum uses sophisticated methods to lure new adherents who fly to it like moths to a flame. How often people are deceived by the pendulum's advertising tricks and move far away from a potential happiness that was so close. Young men leave for the army and lose their lives. Students go to university learning in vain to master a profession that is not really for them. They find work that feels alien but is supposedly prestigious and end up drowning in a swamp of problems, or they join their lives with a stranger only to regret it later. Destructive pendulums have trained people out of choosing their own destiny, because if individuals retain enough independence to have the freedom to choose, it will be much harder for the pendulum to attract so many followers. Our mind is so used to the idea that our fate is our lot in life that we find it really difficult to believe that we can simply choose a destiny that is more to our liking. It is advantageous for pendulums to keep their adherents under control, so they invent all sorts of ways of manipulating them. And the stronger you desire to avoid something, the more likely it is that you will encounter it. To actively fight against what you do not want in your life is to make every effort to ensure that it is present in your life. You do not have to make any specific action to shift onto undesired lifelines. It is enough to think negative thoughts and then fertilize them with emotion. When you do not want there to be bad weather, you think about how much you dislike rain. Noisy neighbors wear you down and you end up arguing with them all the time or silently hating them. You are afraid of something and the fact greatly concerns you, or you have enough of your present job and savor your dislike for it. Defeating the pendulum. Trying to battle with a pendulum is futile. As was explained above, when you battle with a pendulum, you just end up supplying it with energy. The first and most important condition for successful defeating a pendulum is to refuse to get into conflict with it. Firstly, the more actively you try to fight off pendulums that get you down, the more they will pressure you. You can repeat endlessly, "Leave me alone, get away from me," and think you're fighting them off, but actually you're just providing them with energy, making them cling to you even more. Secondly, you do not have the right to judge or change anything. Everything you see and experience should be accepted as if they were paintings on display, whether you like them or not. There may be many paintings in an exhibition that are not to your taste, but it would never occur to you to demand that they be removed from the exhibition room. Once you have recognized the pendulum's right to exist, you also have the right to leave it behind, remaining free of its influence. The main thing is not to find it, judge it, get angry, or lose your self-control, because by doing so you agree to play the game. The pendulum should be calmly taken for granted as a necessary evil and left at that. Any position of opposition supplies the pendulum with energy. Before you can fully understand what it means to choose, you have to know how to decline. Most people have a vague idea of what they do want, but know exactly what they do not want. In an effort to get rid of things or events that they do not want in their life, people act in a manner that has the opposite effect. To decline something, you have to first accept its existence. The word accept in this context does not mean to embrace something and let it into your personal space. It means simply to recognize its right to existence and then pass by indifferently. If you want to eradicate something from your life, all you have to do is stop thinking about it. Pass it by with indifference and it will disappear. To eliminate something from your life, ignore it. Do not avoid it. There is a difference. When you avoid something, it means you have let it into your personal space, but are now actively trying to get rid of it. To ignore something means not to react to it and consequently not to experience its presence in your space. Imagine that you are a radio. If your day-to-day life is like waking up every day listening to a radio program that you hate, all you have to do is tune into a different frequency. Somebody told me a story once about a man who was cornered by a pack of fearless street gang members. He was about to get beaten up when he turned to the gang leader with an insane stare and said, "What would you like me to break first, your jaw or your nose?" The question clearly did not fit with the usual script, and the gang leader was taken aback for a moment. Then, with unhealthy enthusiasm, the man cried, "Or maybe I'll just tear your ear off." And with that he grabbed the gang leader by the ear, who let out an agonizing cry. The entire scenario that the gang was used to playing out had gone awry. The gang leader was no longer thinking about beating up anybody. His only concern was how to save his ear from the madman's grip. The gang let the man go, assuming he was a psychiatric patient, and he escaped a fatal beating. If you ever find yourself in a situation that you know will unfold according to a set script, do something surprising. It does not matter what you do, as long as it is something that does not fit with the standard script. This will stop the pendulum's swing. As long as you are acting out based on a prepared script, you are effectively agreeing to play by the pendulum's rules and give away your energy at the resonance frequency. If, however, the vibrational frequency of your energy differs significantly from that of the pendulum, dissonance will be created, which will disturb the pendulum's beat. Earlier we said that the habit of reacting negatively to unpleasant circumstances triggers the pendulum's mechanism for capturing thought energy. This habit will fade if you decide to play your own game, in which you deliberately substitute negative emotion with positive emotion. Confidence for fear, enthusiasm for gloom, indifference for resentment, joy for irritation. Try reacting inappropriately to small nuisances. You have nothing to lose. It might seem a silly game to play, but the pendulum will have no chance. The game style only seems silly because pendulums have trained us to exclusively play the games that are of benefit to them. You can experiment with forcing the pendulum to play your game. You will enjoy it and be surprised to discover what a powerful technique this is. The secret of genius lies in remaining free from the influence of pendulums. While the thought energy of most people is held at a certain frequency by pendulums, the thought energy of a genius is free to attune itself to different frequencies and move into unexplored areas of the information field.